Going live. Welcome to the Monday Night Live with me and Danny. Today we're talking about Sony and the new games they'll be releasing at E3. Sony and the new game. There you go.
Good.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Say hi if you're alive. Say something if you're alive.
Let us know you're here.
Let us know that you are alive somewhere. Got 24 people watching, but I don't see the chat.
Oh no, don't tell me it's one of those.
Well, I see the numbers growing. I just don't see the chat.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Don't tell me it's one of those.
There we go. There you go. I see one.
I just don't see the chat.
Okay.
Well, hey, there we go. All right, so Paragus is dead. Can't help him there.
Oh shoot.
There we go. All right, we got people that are alive. Thank goodness. You guys need to do a Facebook check-in. Let us know that you're alive. Mark that you're safe somewhere. Yo, what's up? Ross, Gregory, Tom A, Raymond Sanchez. Oh man, now the chat's going wild. Okay. Jason Moreno, RXX, Peter V, Jose Lucha, 2005. Beaner, what is up, guys?
It's only you two today. Man, B-Love is going for that A9R, man.
We were just joking that we're competing against basketball and E3 right now, so I don't know. Oh, we have a pretty solid start. 38 people watching. That's not bad.
Nah, that's pretty good. I'm just still getting my other video uploaded just to let people know that we're doing the stream right now.
Awesome. So hang on tight, guys. We started a little bit late today because I had to book a flight to France, but we will get started in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I say 8 minutes. 8 minutes. RSX. Do I need to sell my A7 II? Panic. Yes, sell it now.
What is?
Wait.
What's going on? Danny King. Steve
is in the house. I'm the Browns in the house.
Halftime is coming. 2005 says halftime is coming. Who's playing tonight?
Oh, they're
playing basketball tonight.
Bro, it's the same team.
Oh, it's what, really? What?
Cleveland. The Cavs and the Warriors, man. What the heck?
All right. If the Warriors win, Danny will give out his free A9 to one lucky winner tonight.
Woo!
But the catch is you have to buy it through B&H once he returns it. Shabanali Osman, London is not sleeping. Funny. Okay, so guys, I will probably most likely be in London the end of August, so let me know what's good to do in London. See, Tony A, is Sony gonna release more affordable lenses? I'm not too quite sure, but Sigma is gonna start releasing some lenses, so you can expect some affordable lenses coming from Sigma. Rodrigo, what's up?
Steve's calling me out, man. He's like, what happened to the flame at Sammy's camera?
Yeah, what happened? What happened to the live stream?
I just cut it off. I was seeing a lot of audio problems, and I was like, I'll just cut it off.
You see why I was like not wanting to bother with live streaming my talk is because of that sole reason. It's just because you can barely hear me. I mean, like if we did if we actually were serious about doing the live stream, we would probably have some audio cable feed into the phone or something like that. But I recorded the live talk. It's going to be, I have to work on it. I have to cut it and edit it, and I'll post it on the internet. So hopefully it'll be out by this week.
Yeah, Steve, I just wanted to keep my end of the bargain. I said in the last live stream I would stream. So I did stream part of it. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got something out there.
I don't know how much you guys caught from that live stream, but yeah.
It's funny. I listed the video, but the link was out. I guess it got pushed out to Twitter, and so I was like, "Why is the views still going up like really slow? Like maybe it probably got like another 50 views." I'm like, "What the heck?" So, yes.
Let's see. Paragus, I'm about to buy an A7S II for videography. Should I wait? Nah, you should go for the A7S II if you want to buy it now because there's not an A7S III in the horizon, or at least I don't think so. But hey, Sony can surprise us. So A7S II is freaking good in low light. So if you can get one for like under $2,500, it's a pretty good deal.
That's the only problem is you never know. They just released the A9. You got Rumorville coming around. We'll talk about it later, but it's kind of like, who knows, right? So
who knows? Who the F knows?
Really don't know.
Tony A, hopefully more art series that are native E-mount and don't have to be adapted. Yeah, there's rumor has it that they're gonna have something like that. I'm the Brown. If you shoot in 4K, do you ever have B-roll in 1080p? Do you upscale the 1080p? Yeah, sometimes I shoot 4K. We shoot 4K and we shoot slow-mo stuff in like 60p 1080 or 120p 1080. We have to scale it up to 4K.
Yeah, I do the same with some of my videos on YouTube. I'll shoot 1080p. I don't really give it a second thought. I mean, most people can't really tell. So yeah, when you're in a pinch, upscale.
Hunter DNGNGKSN. What has been said about the A7 III then? We're going to get into that maybe in about 15 minutes. We're going to start the show very soon. Very, very soon.
No sound. What?
RSX, no sound.
And, anybody else? Let me know.
Anybody else? Can you hear us? Did we die now? A6000 or the A7 II photo only. Ooh.
If you're doing portraits, more portraits, go with the A7 II. It's my opinion.
Yeah, A7 II. All right, everyone says sound is fine. Awesome. You know what, Danny? I think we have a solid amount of people already watching. I mean, wow, 60 people. Should we just get started?
Yeah, we can start right now.
Awesome. Guys, welcome back to another Monday Night Live with me and Danny. Thank you again so much for joining us on this Monday evening. And as always, we like to start the show with new gear. So hashtag new gear. Let us know what piece of new tech you got this week. Danny, anything new with you, man?
I have ordered some small items, but I haven't gotten anything actually in my hands right now. I don't think, nothing new. I did order. I'm gonna try out this 4K capture card.
What?
There's this 4K card, like it's like avi.io or something like that. And because here's the thing, here's the thing I'm dealing with, right? I want to start doing more product shots on this table that I have here on the side, back over here. What happens is I want to just have an Alpha 6300, and I'll talk about that later, but I have an Alpha 6300 just kind of mounted up and it's facing down onto the table. I want to take the signal from the camera just straight into the computer. I don't want to deal with SD cards, taking the SD card out and transferring it. I just want to take the live feed from the 4K signal straight to my computer to make the workflow easier. Because right now my focus is just like get the workflow down fast, easy, and just make it simple. So I'm also looking at that, and I'm also going to use it for this camera because I also record straight to the camera like this, and I just use a 1080p signal because I just use OBS, this free software. But I was like, maybe if this 4K card works, I can just do 4K straight to the computer and not have to take out the card and plug in the SD card. So just one more step out of the way.
Wow, that's very interesting. I'm always like, oh, yeah, no, it doesn't, right? The Black Magic, I don't think gets the 4K signal. I have to downgrade to 1080 in order for me to start streaming. So,
yeah,
having that, wow, that's interesting. So you're gonna start shooting videos and just having it shoot directly to your computer so you can start editing, right?
Yes, that is the absolute plan. Is it going
to be ProRes? Do you know what kind of file format it's going to be on?
OBS just pulls it in as an MP4 file, but that's fine with me. I'd like, honestly, that's why I'm the brown ass about upscaling. I've been upscaling some of my footage. It doesn't look as good, but in terms of just getting the workflow done, just getting stuff done quick, I'm perfectly fine with it. Doesn't bother me at all. So
cool. Awesome. New gear that's coming in, or I don't even know when it's gonna come in, but I actually ordered some Apple AirPods. I was just like, I don't know. It seems portable enough, and I have my iPhone, which is the iPhone 7. As you guys know, doesn't have that headphone jack port. It's just via lightning cable. So it's been super annoying just having to like find the adapter. Well, the adapter doesn't even work. The 3.5 millimeter jack to the lightning port, it just doesn't even work for me. There's like a lot of static noises. So I figured if we're gonna move into the wireless headphone age, might as well start with the AirPods, because I'm pretty sure my next transition will be a MacBook anyways, and I think it connects via Bluetooth, right? So it should still work with my 2015 MacBook. I'm not too quite sure, but I'll let you guys know. I still can't believe the AirPods are still back ordered on like so many different sites. Like if you want to get it, you have to pay the premium $230 on Amazon and get it Prime shipping. But elsewhere, you have to wait until like July or August or something. Best Buy is saying they will ship it on June 23rd, which is in about 2 weeks. So I'm hoping they will keep their word on it.
Oh man, I didn't know that sucks. I mean, they're back stock. Jeez.
Yeah, they're still back stock till now.
People are probably losing them more frequently than they are. That's what's going on.
Yeah, Vivian, my girlfriend, is like, "You're gonna lose them," and I'm like, "How often do I lose things?" So we'll start to count. We'll start the countdown when I get the AirPods. All right, let's go into the chat and see what new stuff did people buy. And Basil Tech asks, Jason, what is your MacBook on? It's actually on a cooler. It's not. I'm not actually powering the cooler in any way or the fan in any way. It's just to give it some elevation.
Very hot laptop there he's got.
Yeah, the hottest laptop of the year. Not as hot as the A9 though. Anyways, Pablo Ortiz just got the Explorer 600 and the WD My Passport Pro 4TB. Awesome.
Wait, is that my WD? That's not the wireless one, right? The W My Passport. That's just
It's just one of the square ones, right? One of these. Oh wait, these aren't the Pro. This one?
It doesn't say Pro on there.
It doesn't say Pro.
Wait, it says it has like a RAID setup on that thing?
I have this one.
I think it has 2 drives.
Oh.
Okay, so the wireless has an actual wireless item on there. Oh, it's a portable RAID. That's awesome.
Wow, that's
cool. That's exactly what I said. So
awesome, Pablo. That's dope. Raymond Sanchez just ordered the new Eldercron slider with a 3-axis motion kit. Wow.
Nice.
That's expensive. But you not having to physically push it and get that steady shot makes a world of difference. We have the action module for the slider 1, and we just let the thing run, man. We just let the thing run. Tony A, new gear, picked up the Comlight Nikon F to E mount autofocus adapter, and it only works with 1 out of the 5 Nikon lenses I have. Still worth it though.
What the heck? Only 1 lens? Oh shoot.
Which lens? Let us know so we have a future reference for the others out there.
Yeah.
Raymond Sanchez is just Blackmagic. Blackmagic what? Blackmagic camera, Blackmagic recorder, Blackmagic cinema camera.
Maybe just Blackmagic, like literal Blackmagic.
Blackmagic. Let's see. FE wants A9 hybrid work opinion. FEF, I can't pronounce your name. FEF will answer your questions when we do the open Q&A. Hang on to that question tight. Derek Newman says the AirPods are awesome. Zoom Chris says, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Zoom Chris?
Let's see. People are making fun of the AirPods, calling it the toothbrush and the Oral-B AirPods. Let's see here. Derek Newman confirmed that the AirPods will work with the older laptops. Thanks.
Will it work on other devices? Like if I have a Galaxy, like does it work with those?
I don't think so. let us know. Let us know out there. I just feel like it wouldn't work, right?
Or just you won't get full compatibility with it, I would assume.
Probably. Breaking Elegance, which mic would you recommend to me to take to VidCon? Get the video mic micro. Mic Pro or micro?
Well, Mic Pro has, you have to put a battery in it, so.
Which one is the one that we have? The one that's like with the pink wire?
That's the micro, I'm
That's the
assuming.
micro. Get the micro. Let's see. Zoom Chris says, #gear, I sold my MacBook Pro. Nice. And I am awesome says, getting a 50 Sony 1.8 OSS tomorrow. Not much, but I need one for portrait. Good choice. Not
I'll
bad.
get you by. I'll get you by.
I'll get you by. Tony A says he's got the Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8 for Nikon.
Is that the adapter? Is that the one with the adapter that's working? I think that's the one.
That's the one. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
David Johnson, new gear. Purchased the Godox 8200 and the Tamrac Anvo 23 bag. Nice. I had a chance to take a look at the Godox 8200 again, and whew, I'm actually considering getting it since there's a couple of summer events that I might hit up, so I might actually get the 8200 myself. Fate Factory rented the 85 G Master for 2 weddings I shot this weekend. Absolutely beautiful. I'm ordering it very, very soon. If you need to buy one from me, I'm selling my 85 G Master. Hit me up.
Market for that.
Yeah, Fate Factory. I wouldn't ship it to anyone, but if you're interested in buying, I'll ship it to you. Since you're so close to San Francisco anyway, hit me up later if you're definitely interested. Awesome. Kevin, what's up, man? Kevin from Sammy's the other day.
Oh, what's up, man?
Awesome. All right, Danny. I think we're good here. What should we talk about?
You know what? You know what's really cool? I heard that you had a little talk at Sammy's Camera over Friday. Was it Friday and Saturday? This past Friday and Saturday.
Yes, sir.
What was going on? What was up with the talk? And can you share a little bit with the viewers?
For the most part, it went really, really well. The first day went well. The second day was even better. And I just pretty much talked about the hybrid capabilities of the Sony Alpha cameras and dropped a lot of knowledge. So I think it was good. You were there. What'd you think?
I thought it went well. I thought as far as your first speaking gig, well, technically your second day, trying to take your YouTube self and putting it into a real life situation is like very interesting. So, but I think you managed well in your first go. And
I was joking before the presentation. I was like, the reason why I make YouTube videos because is to avoid public speaking. Is because I can always cut out the awkward moments or me fumbling and just put into one perfect take, and people would never know.
You know, the thing I was worried about, Jason, is when I was like, man, what if he gets like some really, really tough questions like thrown at him, and then he starts sweating. He's like, what do I do? How do I answer this?
I think for the most part, a lot of people had questions that were easily answerable. I think you asked some tough questions when you were there.
I mean, I asked the questions I thought you would be able to answer. I was like just trying to help him out a little bit here, just throwing some questions.
I was like, oh crap, Danny asking me the hard questions. I want to look like a fraud now.
They're gonna think it was all staged. And your friend that sat in the front row really helped with the with that second day presentation.
yeah, thank goodness. So the first day I actually didn't have any sort of demonstration, so I just kind of like blazed through my presentation. Like I got it done in 30 minutes. I thought 30 minutes was a long time already, but it turns out a lot of people told me that's it, only 30 minutes. And I was like, what? 30 minutes is a long time. It's because I had that YouTube mindset. And I think one of our subscribers there, Peter, was like, hey, yeah, you're kind of running on a YouTube pace. You're kind of like jumping from topic to topic, hitting all your points really quickly, you know? So I was like, oh, okay. You know, with that YouTube mentality, I kind of went into the presentation with a YouTube mentality. So the second day was a lot better because I actually took my time, I slowed down, I hit the topics one by one, and I also gave some time for people to ask questions, to actually interact after different parts. So I'm not blazing through the topics. I'm actually taking the time and letting people ask any questions that they might have. So it definitely helped. And what also helped was the first day they kind of threw me up in a room upstairs. It's like a little classroom with a projector and everything. And not a lot of people showed up, you know. I think not a lot of people knew that Sammy's had an upstairs. So they just kind of walked in, they didn't see anything, they probably left and went home. But the second day, they actually put me on a show floor because thankfully someone double booked the room. So they were forced to kick us downstairs. Even though I was, you know, pushed into the corner and have to give my presentation in a corner, it was really good because people who weren't aware about my presentation or the hybrid capabilities of the Sony camera, they kind of trickle in and then they see this presentation going on and they actually stayed and watched. So I think I got a good amount of people who didn't know about the presentation to stay around and watch. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know where the other room is at. Like if I had gone straight there, the first thing I was asking was like, okay, because I saw in your I saw some your pictures from the previous video, like the previous day, and you were like in a different room, and I'm like, I've never seen this room before at this Sammy's location, and then all of a sudden I see you at that corner section. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right, I guess we're gonna roll out there.
You got to start somewhere, you know. First, you start in a room, and then you're in the corner of Sammy's, and then one day. I will be in the middle of Sammy's, like Scott, Robert Lim, and Jason Lanier. Just watch, guys.
I thought that's what you were gonna do. You're just gonna like just huddle down in the middle section and just do your thing.
Nah, man, I'm not big enough like Jason Lanier, man. Yeah, I gotta have over 100 people to sign up, and then I get the middle of the show floor. I didn't have 100 people signed up. But for those of you who came out and signed up, I want to thank you guys so much. It meant the world to me. You know, Sammy's, the guys, they loved me. Sony, Mark is my friend from Sony. He really enjoyed the presentation. So I'm hoping to do more in the future. So hopefully you guys can come out. And I know a lot of people were asking about doing it in other cities like San Francisco or New York or something. So if I keep doing well in these local camera stores, hopefully one day I can actually go out to do some presentations out there.
No, but that'll be cool. And like I said, when I was out there, I think Jason's component when he's talking about his wedding stuff and how his workflow is with weddings, I think that's really his bread and butter. And I do recommend him to go in a little bit more depth on that one because I think that'll be fun to learn more about.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I think at some point when I was doing the wedding stuff and someone just said, "Wow." Like the first wow I heard all day. It was just very dead silent out there like crickets, but then it was just like, oh wow. So definitely I'm gonna take Danny's advice, and I think the next time if I do like a little talk, maybe it'll be a little bit of a workshop. Maybe not a workshop, but more focus on the wedding stuff and definitely showing you guys tips and tricks and all that. So
I think the hybrid stuff was still really solid because people had questions for you and they were wondering about things. But I think if you can wrap around the hybrid nature around your wedding shooting too, I think that's where things could really get interesting.
For sure.
But yeah, the examples are really good. So
next time, guys, hybrid wedding shooting with Sony Alpha by Jason Vong. Look forward to that.
I think I'm going to shoot a wedding. Was it in October? No, maybe September. I don't remember the date, but I'm doing both photos and video at the same time. So we'll see how that goes.
Danny, if you need some help, let me know, man. That's right, Fate Factory. 70 people watching. Please give us a like if you haven't already yet.
We're at 70 peoples already. They're not watching basketball or the E3 conference. What is going on here?
They probably just put us in the background.
I know, right? We're on mute right now. They can't even hear us.
Someone just scored. Some team just scored right now.
Oh shoot! Right now, it's the Cavs are on the line. If they lose, the Cavaliers lose. That's it. So, but you know, I don't know what the score is right now, so I'm not going to look right now.
Yeah, if you guys are watching, just throw in the scores in the chat sometime, and I'll read it out loud so everyone's not missing out. Yeah. All right, Danny, let's talk about the hot topic of tonight. The Sony A7 III rumors of the A7 III. What do we know, Danny? What do we know about this
We don't
camera right
know
now?
anything. We don't know a single thing. Well, here's the thing.
We don't know
So
Jack. You guys came for no reason. I apologize for that.
Sony Alpha Rumors basically made an announcement. They were saying like we have the specs for the Sony A7 Mark III, and I was like, already? I'm like, Sony Alpha Rumors tends to be okay with their information. Like I haven't, they tend to be on the spot every now and then. And the thing that really shocked me about the A7 III was the potential for it to have the same autofocusing system as the Sony A9. That really, if they're able to do something like that, that would be phenomenal. Another thing they mentioned was, I think it's going to be the 24 megapixels. I don't know if there was confusion, but there was talks about having the same sensor as the A9. I don't know if it will. Maybe it's the same megapixel range. But I think those are really the main things, is that it won't have the same crazy FPS, but it will have the same autofocusing capabilities. And I'll tell you what, the A7 II is not the best camera for autofocusing. And if they can just tap in the A9 autofocusing system, that camera is going to be killer, in my opinion. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on this whole A7 Mark III? And do you show any interest for it?
I'm showing a lot of interest for it now. Of course, like you said, this is just a rumor. I don't want anyone to take whatever Sony Alpha rumor says. Usually it's very credible, but just bear in mind that even if it's still just a rumor at the end of the day. So don't be disappointed if it doesn't have what they're saying it is, because we don't know yet. Nothing's really confirmed. And again, just take it with a grain of salt. But if it does have the same sensor as the A9, the same autofocusing distance system, it's going to be a really killer of a camera, because a lot of us, we don't need that 20 frames per second. Danny probably needs it, but I can live with like what's the highest that A7R2 can go? What, 8?
5,
5? 5? Okay. I could maybe a little bit faster for me would be great, but I definitely don't need 20. So, and the autofocus on the A9 is just super, super accurate, right? Like the eye autofocus even works when you're wearing dark sunglasses. It will still track those eyes. That is absolutely insane. So what we're thinking, what we're guessing, and when I was talking to the Sony reps at NAB, they're guessing that the A9, whatever is built into the A9, some of its great features will trickle down to the next iteration of the A7 cameras. So I think with the A7R2 and the A7S2, being the predecessors of the A7, being the successor of the A7 II, the A7 III is going to be awesome. Like I can only imagine what it'll be like. 24 megapixel camera, 4K, stunning 4K quality video. S-Log. Does the A7 II have S-Log? I forgot.
I don't have my copy nearby, so I can't check. So hopefully someone can check that up.
So I mean, if the A7 II can just be, an A7R2 without the crazy resolution and with the A9 fast autofocus, I think that'd be my next camera for sure. Like,
okay,
I would keep my A7. I'm sorry, was that?
It has S-Log too.
Has S-Log. So A7 II has S-Log too?
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. I didn't even know that. That's pretty insane. So if it's definitely highly in my list for the next camera, because I don't need a high resolution camera. If anything, I'd keep my A7R2 if I still want to do any 42 megapixel stuff. But for sure, if I can have something that has reliable autofocus, great 4K video, 4K 60, please, the A7 III would definitely be my next camera.
I want to say this right now. I really think Sony's planning to launch this in conjunction with Canon 6D Mark II. The 6D Mark II has been rumored possible announcement next month, and released it within this year possibly. So I'm really thinking they're going to try and match it up and just kind of hit Canon in the throat basically, and say, look, our camera is going to be better, offer better capabilities. So I think that's what's coming around the corner. I don't know, Canon's not really our topic today, but Canon 6D Mark II is rumored to actually have a swivel screen that comes all the way out. So I think that's going to be really, finally, right, on their full frame. But I think that'd be a really cool camera. The people I know have shown interest in that one in particular. But I really think if Sony really wants to knock it out of the park, the A9's possible similar sensor tech, the autofocusing system, it's going to definitely go head to head with the Canon 6D Mark II, and also the fact that the 6D Mark II and the A7 II are going to be priced similarly. So I think it's going to be a good head-to-head competition between those two.
You know, the six. If I hadn't gone with the A7R2, I think I would have probably picked up the Canon 6D. It was like it was really close for me. Like the full frame camera. Like either I would have gone with the 5D Mark. Actually, I did go with the 5D Mark III, and I owned it for like maybe like a short 2 month period. But the 6D was definitely something I was considering heavily. You know, it was a really, really amazing camera. It had that updated 1080p bitrate, I believe. It also had better low light than the 5D Mark III by like a little bit. And yeah, overall, the 6D is an amazing camera, and I can't wait to see what Canon does with the 6D Mark II. Hopefully, I mean, I don't think they would change their MPEG, right? Their MPEG, whatever they were doing with the Canon 5D Mark IV. So you think the 6D will suffer the same fate?
I really think they're really not posing their cameras for 4K video. It's just going to be like a Canon 80D, but a full frame version of it, maybe with some additional features. But you're going to get that Canon reliability, though. I don't think they're really aiming it for the really high end video crowd. So if you want 4K, I think Sony right now, the GH5, GH4 is kind of the arena to go to. So, but I think. You know what was funny though? When the 6D initially came out, I was really kind of negative about it because I was like, really, Canon, you're gonna give us 9 focus points, I think, and the center one's like the only cross type one, I believe, or whatever it was. But you know what? I got the 6D and it was okay. It was actually a decent upgrade from the 5D Mark II, the original 5D Mark II. So it was a solid camera. I think we can always ask for more features, but that's kind of how Canon rolls.
I think for an entry level full frame camera at the time that the 6D existed was definitely a really good camera. Like I'm well, you had the chance to play with the 5D Mark II before jumping onto the 6D, right? For me, I was coming from a T3i to a 6D, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. Took some concert photos with it, and I was just blown away by the quality of the 6D.
Yeah, the image quality was very good on that camera.
Yeah.
No, definitely. You know what? The other thing about the A7 III rumors is I think everyone's clamoring for, is it going to have a similar body size to the A9? You know what? I'm going to say right now, I don't think it will. I'm going to call it out right now. With that meaning it'll have 2 card slots and the larger battery. I want to be wrong, so I'm going to just say it right now. So, Jason, what do you think is going to happen with that, in particular with the A7 III rumor?
I'm hoping they would at least include the newer battery. I doubt they will put dual SD card slots. That's just me being very skeptical. I mean, it'd be awesome if they include the dual SD card slot, but I don't think they want to overpower the A9. You know, they definitely want to market the A9 as the professional camera, the camera to get if you are a professional, dual SD card slots and yada, yada, yada. But just seeing how the A9 is not that much bigger, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Why wouldn't they give us the bigger battery? So it would make sense for them to jump into the bigger batteries, but I will reserve my judgment for the dual SD card slots.
You know, the reason why I say this is because I don't know if they're going to segment their camera lines like Canon does with their 1D series or Nikon does with their Nikon D5 series cameras, where their professional series camera has a different body makeup than the rest of their cameras, and they have different batteries. Like their prosumer levels all have the same kind of batteries, like the Canon LP6 batteries. So I don't know. I'm rooting for the A9 type style body with the bigger battery and the dual card slots. But I think because they kept posing this camera, the A9, as their pro level device or pro level camera, that this is the professional level, that they might not give it. And like I think Jason's kind of posing here, they want to push everyone towards the A9. If you want the dual card slots, you're going to have to go to the A9 series. But the A7 III is going to give you a little mix of everything else, and it's still going to be probably a good camera, better autofocusing than prior. But the question is, if the dual card slots is something you need, unfortunately, they're going to push you towards the A9. So, yeah.
Awesome.
And you know what? Another weird thing I want to mention is that It was initially posed as a sports camera, but lately it's been kind of pushed as a wedding camera too. You know what I mean? So I
No,
feel like
not really. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because the only time I see, I mean, you're right. I definitely see a lot more people using it for weddings, but
Lanier pushed it. Lanier pushed it as the wedding camera. That's why.
okay, okay,
And then other folks are using it for that kind of field work. So I don't know. I don't know where Sony's going to go with it, but because I think it'd be an excellent wedding camera, the A9, obviously. But the question is, can the A7 III meet those needs and demands that people want? So
I certainly hope so.
yeah, I really do. They got to really drop drop some cool stuff into the A7 III, and then their R3 model and their A7S3, they can definitely still segment that the way they want to.
Yeah, so my top contender would be right now to get either the would me for me logically I would move to the A7 III and the A7 S3. I don't need an R3. If the 7 III has some really good autofocus, then I'm going to stick with that one. And if I need a low light camera, I'm going to jump to the S3. But I won't get the R3. And again, it's just because I would probably just keep my R2 for all that 42 megapixel stuff. But what about you, Danny? If you had a choice between the 7 III, the 7 R3, or the 7 S3, would you get them all? Because you're that one camera guy.
I want to go straight to the A7S3 then, if that's the
A7
case.
S3.
I'll take a look at the A7 III when it comes out. I'll take a look at them, but I think the potential camera that I'd be interested in is the A7S3 because there's a lot of potential and high hopes. I think it's going to drop better video features like the 4K 60p we're asking for. But that's the problem. Remember the overheating scenarios with the cameras. So they would probably be pushed to have to create a bigger body for those cameras. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they want the cameras to do well and perform better, they're going to have to push probably for the bigger body. And even the battery life, man. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely dead wrong on that change. But I know some people want the smaller body still. But I mean, I think the A9 was still pretty small in my opinion. But that's just me speaking.
No, you're definitely right. I mean, the A9 is only like a micro inch bigger, right? Not even. It was like when I held the A9 in my hand, I felt like I was holding the A7R2. So not that big.
It's not really that much different. So the A9 here and the A7R2. I mean, the grip is just deeper. That's about it. So it's not too much in weight between the two. So
let's jump into the comments really quick, Danny.
All right, let's see what they got to say.
Photo Mike, they need a bigger body to compete with better batteries. Rob Kramer says Danny is that 5 camera guy. I'm pretty sure Danny has more than 5 cameras.
Shoot. I have so many Sony cameras that I almost, if I line them all up, I've got like, I had the 2 A9s, an A7R2, A7 II, 2 Alpha 6300s, an A6500, an A6000, the RX10 Mark II, and the Sony RX100 Mark IV.
Oh my!
And people are saying things like, "Oh, this guy's like anti-Sony or something like that." I'm like, I've got a little too much invested in Sony, so I'm not hating on them. I just wanted my situation kind of addressed, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But keep going on, Jason.
Please tell me you took a photo with all those Sony cameras, please.
Did I take a picture?
That is a Facebook cover photo right there. You know how like you do those family portraits with like the mom, the dad, the mom, the middle kid, the sister, the baby. You gotta do like a line of that. That'd be pretty sick.
The crazy thing is, I'm gonna be out of my 2 A9s because. Just go. I don't want to talk about that right now.
All right, we'll talk about the A9 in just a bit. Hold on right there, guys. George Sorrell is guessing they will push the A9 line moving forward. Rodell Photo says, and he's been shooting wedding with the A9, faster menu searching, dual cards, faster load up time from the on and off switch, more separate dials, extra custom button. My workload has been a lot quicker. Wow.
Nice.
Good input. Thank you, Rodell. Let's see here. Pat Adolfo is asking, what if they put Bluetooth in the future releases so you can use a PS4 controller to wirelessly control your camera? If the gaming department and the camera department can work together, I think
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty good.
I feel
Wouldn't it
those
be wouldn't it be
departments.
crazy if Sony releases the PS5 or something and they're like, hey, you can start doing your Let's Play live streaming with your Sony cameras now. You just have it's all wireless. You can stream your gameplay, stream your face with your Sony camera playing on a PS5. I don't know what I'm talking about. But that would
No,
be pretty sick.
it'd be cool if they can do some, connect their devices together. That would be cool.
Yeah. Dave, okay, let's see here. Angel's visuals. I need to upgrade from my A7 II. I need the 20 FPS. What do you recommend? The A9, probably. If you really need that 20 FPS, it's the A9 right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Marcus Jason says, I bought the A6500. It's great, but it's so finicky. No ergonomics at all. Sony needs to employ people to improve the ergonomics.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of that, Marcus, I'm really thinking, I know people are going to hate this, but I think Sony needs to drop a more pro line A6000 series. Like maybe it's A7000 series where it's like an A9, but a crop censored version of it. I think that would be killer. They definitely need to create more lenses for the crop censored folks. But I'm thinking something along those lines would be pretty awesome. The next gen of that series.
I think they're definitely wanting to build up the full frame line first. So hopefully sometime next year, the APS-C will get some love.
Yeah, definitely don't want another A6000 series dropped in this year.
Wipa Hootube asked, do you think the A7 III would have touchscreen? And is the A9 touchscreen the same as the A6500? So, Danny, let's ask you the question first. Is the A9 touchscreen similar to the A6500?
I believe so. The only difference is you don't have the ability to control the location at which you can space out the screen. It's just like it's on or off.
Okay.
With the 6500, you can say left side of screen, I think, or like you can create zones for something
like that. Yeah.
So now it's the whole screen you can sort of touch. It's still not that great, but we'll talk about the firmware coming up in a little bit.
Is the touch screen a lot faster and more responsive than the A6500 with the A9?
You know what? I'm not really sure. I don't use the touchscreen much at all.
Okay.
But I did try to use it a little bit, but then what would end up happening is when I take pictures, so I'll activate the touchscreen, right? So I'll look at it, maybe look at the photos, swipe, and then when I go out to take pictures, all of a sudden my focus points jump somewhere else because my face, my nose is moving the tracking point. So kind of I wish there was some more detection to prevent things like that from happening. So,
If it was me, I'd probably assign one of the custom buttons to turn off touch or something.
Is that possible?
Oh,
I don't know.
Maybe. Hopefully one day.
I don't know if I saw that because I was reading.
Like you said, I don't know. It's very tricky because I also do use the touchscreen when I'm looking through the viewfinder of the 6500, so it's very tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think moving forward, they're definitely going to try to incorporate the touchscreen to the next A7 cameras or A9 cameras. I mean, they already started to implement it in the A6500 and the A9, so it would make sense to get the touchscreen on the A7 III or the A7R III. It's just a matter of how responsive and how much improvement there actually is moving on to the next body.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Let's see here. Simon PR says, yes, please put 2 SD cards and new battery. They're voting for that. Marcus Jason asks, is the A9 mechanical shutter really as laggy as I've seen on a post?
I have not used the mechanical shutter much at all. I've just been primarily on the electronic shutter. Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm not the best person to comment on that. And I'm not shooting portraits with lighting, or I haven't shot any portraits at all with the A9. So maybe later on, I can answer that question better.
Cool. Tag the Shooter shares his experience as well. The A9 has done 3 concerts, 2 fashion shows, 3 graduations, and 2 beach shoots, and it has been fantastic. The A7R2 and the A6500 has stayed in the bag as a backup.
Woo! Ouch.
Woo! Nice.
Ouch.
You guys are really putting the A9 to work. I've seen so many people put the A9 to work, and I'm just like, you guys are getting a lot more gigs than my A7R2 right now. That's amazing, guys. I'm glad you guys are really pushing it out there. Let's see. Steve says FS5 is now the same price as the A9. Wow, I never thought about that.
I saw that, man. I thought about it for a second, the Sony FS5, and then I saw the C200, and I'm like, okay, C200 is not in my field, but I was like, Sony FS5. I was like, I could just get rid of the A9 and get an FS5, but nah, I'm good, man.
You don't need it, Danny. I don't think you have any use for the FS5.
What the heck's that supposed to mean, Jason?
I don't know. What are you gonna shoot with the FS5? It's just a bigger camera to carry.
My YouTube videos, man. My YouTube
videos. You have 10 other cameras to shoot YouTube videos. You don't need the FS5.
They got them overheating problems. The FS5 built inside. So
oh my gosh. Pat Adolfo says, give us the bigger mirrorless, please. I like to have my pinky on the camera when I'm holding it. Yep. Rodell says they're probably just gonna say get the pinky grip.
Yeah.
So I was not a believer of the pinky grip until I actually held it in my hand at Sammy's last weekend. And I gotta say, it makes a huge difference. Okay. So when I held the A9, the demo unit at the Sammy store, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then when I held someone else's A6500 or their A7R2, my pinky just like went underneath the camera. And I was like, whoa, completely threw me off. So that pinky grip is some good stuff. Now, the only quirk that I have with it, and I told the rep there, and I was like, if there's only a way we can still access the battery door, it'd be awesome, because the only way to access the battery door is if you have to like swivel the pinky grip aside first and then change your battery. But my also gripe with it is that it takes your 1 and only 1/4 inch screw on the bottom. So if you want to mount a tripod plate to it or anything like that, you can't. So if they can at least, like, if they take away one, they should at least add another back in some way or form. So that would be my suggestions for the next pinky grip, but we'll see. Pablo Ortiz says, would you guys ever collaborate with John Sassone? We should get John Sassone on this show sometime.
That guy has a serious freaking like arsenal of Sony stuff. And he's got E-mount stuff too.
He's got Danny B on the cameras, man. He's got the A-mount army. So we definitely want to pick his brain on the A-mount stuff too.
And he has a climate controlled case to put his cameras into, because he's as well. So, yeah, for sure. I mean, we can ask him.
So guys, we want to leave it off to you guys. Are you guys gonna get the A7 III after all that we've talked about? If the rumors are true, would you get the A7 III, or would you wait for the A7R3, A7S III?
Yeah, what would you need? What would you need on it? Do you need the dual S card slots? What's the deal breaker? Dual S card slots or bigger battery? Like, what's the killer for you? What do you need? So if it has this, I'll get the A7 III. If it doesn't have this, I won't get the A7 Mark III. We'd like to know. We'd like to know your thoughts on that.
Ruben says he's gonna do it. He's gonna get the A7 III.
But we haven't even seen it out yet. So.
He's gonna get it. It doesn't matter.
Maybe there'll be another truck that goes missing. We can let you know. So.
Presume Chris, if the A7 III won't have 2 card slots, it's going to be a consumer camera. I don't think Sony wants that for a camera that would probably cost $2,000 to $3,000. But if they do it, it'll be a fiasco. And Pat Adolfo says or asks, there's a pinky grip. You bet your butt there's a pinky grip, but only for the A9.
Yeah. No.
Wait, really?
No, it works on the A7R too.
Wait, isn't it a tad bit bigger?
I don't remember. I asked them at the booth. They were like, "Yeah, we got pinky grips for the other ones."
All right, so if that's true, yes, but there's no pinky grip for the A6500. That's for sure.
There you go.
And people are asking for the pinky grip for the A6500. And again, because of that issue that I talked about with you not being able to access the battery door and the memory card slot, it'd be hard. How much is that pinky grip, Danny? Do you remember?
$5.
$5. That's a good deal. I'd buy one.
$128.
A pinky grip?
Yeah, the extraction grip. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
$120?
It works for the A9, A7 II, A9, A7R2, A7S2.
Never mind. I'm not spending $120 on a pinky grip. That's ridiculous. Okay. Let's see here. Evan Pollinger says, I need that AF. If it has it, I'm pre-ordering on day one.
Damn.
Patrick Chang says, just want to say hi. Sorry for joining late. No worries.
No worries, man.
And sorry, guys. I know some of you guys posted the score of the basketball game, and I haven't read them out loud. I'm terribly sorry, but if you can post it
The
again.
Warriors were up. The Warriors
are up. Okay, the Warriors are up. There we go. Let's see here. Dave Sincere, I'm waiting. No A7 III for me. I'm going to get the new A6500, and just my luck, it'll be out in 2 years. Oh, the new A6500. Okay, the next iteration you're talking about. Let's see here. I'm the Brown. Memory cards. You can always plug external battery or use grips. Wi-Fi Tube says dual card, big battery, 30 meg, 8 FPS. That's what they're looking for.
Hey, that's reasonable for an upcoming model. I mean,
what
if it still had the 24 megapixels, but it had all that else, you know?
It would make more sense if they stuck with the 24 megapixels.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Elvin Win Photo and Video says, I've been looking for a second body. I think the A7 III would be a good B-roll camera as long as it has S-Log. And I think
it's going to have S-Log.
It's going to have S-Log.
We'll make a big stink. I'll make a big stink.
All right.
Post mean comments so they can see it.
All right, cool. Danny, you want to move on to the next topic that we have for today?
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right. So we have some things to discuss about the new firmware releases. So if you guys are living under a rock and you didn't know about this, there's new firmware updates for the A9, the A7R2, A7S2, A6300, A6500, and the A7 II. Danny is a lot more familiar with these firmware than I am. So Danny, why don't you go ahead and take the mic?
All right. So this is it. There was a firmware update for the A9 to address the overheating indicator on the actual camera. So I think we all kind of figured out already for the most part that from the video that I did, they weren't really trying to address the actual, the camera will still overheat and possibly shut down, but it delayed the overheating indicator from turning on. I've gotten some more reports from other people. Met someone at Sammy's camera who talked about his camera actually overheating and shutting down. And then I've gotten a few emails from other people. So I'm hoping it is really, certain models of the camera that are experiencing it, but I am glad that Sony did even acknowledge that there is an issue going on. But be perfectly honest with you, the firmware update that I was most excited about was for the Alpha 6300 because more people have that camera and most people aren't necessarily going to buy the A9. So the Alpha 6300, the extended power temp option, that auto power temp option that was enabled, the Alpha 6500 had that ability and it allowed it to record for much longer periods of time. And from the tests that I did, the Alpha 6300 also got the benefit of being able to record for a longer period of time and thus making it less susceptible to shutting down because of overheating. I know most people aren't going to push their cameras to the extremes, but if that case that you end up doing that, the fact that they give you that option for that one moment of time that happens to you, I think is like a really good move from Sony, to be perfectly honest with you. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on that? And also, by the way, Jason, they gave it to the A7R2. The A7R2 didn't have that ability before. And are you planning to do the update for that A7R2, or how do you find yourself probably taking advantage of it?
So yeah, the A7R2, I already updated it, and I'm super happy it's that they included it because it's just a precautionary measure for me. Like I've had the A7R2 overheated on me twice, but 2 times only out of the 1.5 year that I've had the camera. So not a bad track record at all. So the first time was definitely one summer for a wedding, and the second time was a wedding a month ago. So it has overheated on me. I had to let it cool. So having the auto power temperature for the A7R2 is highly, highly welcome. It doesn't overheat too often, but again, having it just in case is good too. But I can definitely agree that the A6300 is definitely a huge deal to receive that upgrade because I think you and I talked about it in our videos, like, compared to the A6500, the A6300 had a lot to lose, but with this
Yeah.
auto temperature power thing, it's made it to be a very competitive camera against the A6500. So if you don't need that in-body image stabilization, you don't need that touchscreen, um, you don't need that extra custom button, then the A6300 is perfectly fine. And I think you can get one for about $900, 900 freaking dollars for the A6300 body alone. That's pretty insane.
I've seen some eBay sales for new models for about 824 for with the
Wow.
16 to 50 kit lens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what was really funny? When I was doing the install for the unlimited time hack on the Alpha 6300, I was like, oh crap, this could be one of those cameras that people want, because I thought that people were starting to sell off their Alpha 6300s to get the Alpha 6500, and I was like, man, I would just go in and swoop up a couple more of these Alpha 6300s, install the hack, because at some point everyone's going to update their firmware and they're not going to be able to do the install for the unlimited time hack, and I would have a bunch of these Alpha 6300s that could record unlimited time. Now, unless they overheat, but I was like, man, this could be a really good marketing scheme here and sell off these specially hacked Alpha 6300s. But excuse me, apparently the local installation method, you can still install the hack even after you've updated the firmware. So everything's all good. Even if you update the firmware, you can still add the play memories tweak if you want to get the unlimited recording time. So
that's we call that farming, Danny. A6300 farming the bad ones, because you know it'll be worth something someday. And you're absolutely right. I mean, like when the A6500 came out, I just like chucked my A6300 out the door for a very low price. So I think with this hack, if people caught on, they're gonna start raising the prices, the used prices on the 6300, just because it's just it can't compete against the 6500 now. It's insane.
Yeah. And honestly, 1080p recording will go much longer than the 4K. So if you don't need 4K, you just want to record 1080p like a recital or a concert or your kids' games or stuff like that, I think it'll be a good contender for that continuous.
And you more than double the recording time in 4K with the 6300, right?
See, it just depends on the conditions you're shooting in. If you're shooting in if you're doing, obviously, again, direct sunlight, bad, don't do that. Have an umbrella over your head or something like that. But if it's really hot, it'll still shut down, but I know for sure it'll make the 30 minutes now. I feel comfortable that it could make the 30 minutes as long as you're not in direct sunlight, but you're still in a hot environment. I think it'll make the 30 minutes. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And just before we move on, have you gotten a chance to test out the image stabilization with the 6500? And do you notice any improvement at all on your end? Because I know a lot of people are asking about this.
Shoot, I even contemplated on picking up another Alpha 6500 just to do the test, because I can't compare. I hate doing comparisons with the same camera, because I'll have to test out my Alpha 6500 several times and then update the firmware and then test it again. I'm like, how do I judge this? I don't, and also I never had any issues with it. And I think they were addressing the issue. Was it the issue that Dave Dugdale had? I don't recall.
That's what I was thinking. A lot of people are reporting that they have this issue, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not calling them liars or anything. I can definitely believe them. It's just, I think if you are experiencing that phenomenon, I think you guys got to send it back into the Sony, because it's more of a physical thing rather than a software thing. Because Danny, you don't have that issue, right?
I've never noticed it, but then again, I might not have shot enough to see it happen in place.
I'm sure you've done some panning and some tilting, and if there's that jump, you would have caught on.
Yeah, if it was, I didn't notice it. It wasn't a big enough jump. I mean, I didn't notice it at all.
So yeah, if you guys are experiencing that issue, I don't think this firmware is going to fix your 6500. You're going to need to send that into Sony. And it should be covered by warranty, because it's not your fault. It's definitely either through shipping or it's faulty right from the start. So definitely try hitting up Sony about that with your warranty.
Or just tell them that one camera guy sent me.
Tell them Danny, that one camera guy.
Or if you sent me your unit, if it was having problems, I could do a side-by-side test and just like put it on blast. And just to showcase it, right? If your primer is having that problem, because my unit, I don't think it's having that problem. So, but if a lot of people are having it, then sure, bring invisibility to it. So
Danny is the hero that we don't want, but we definitely need right now. He's the
I don't
dark knight.
want to say
He's the
I don't
dark
want to say
Sony knight.
I don't want to say I was responsible for the overheating firmware update, but I'm just glad I'm glad they made it happen for a lot of people. So and also, you know why? You know what the A7R2, mine is overheated just shooting photos, even though some people don't believe it. But I'm glad they gave it because like I said, mine shut off just shooting pictures at a softball game. But now with the extended temperature on, I'm not really that worried now. So again, kudos, Sony. Thank you for finally getting that to happen. So
And let us know in the comments if you've updated your A7R2, A7S2, A7 II, A6500, A6300, and A9. Let us know and how the improvement has helped you out in your workflow. Danny, let's jump into the comments really quick, shall we?
go for it, man.
Okay, let's see here. Ulysses Martinez says, just bought a U6300 for $600, good condition, and I love it. I don't see any A6500 on the used market. What was
you
that?
know what's crazy? Here's the thing. I was going to sell my 6300. I was willing to let it go for like 650 or even like less than that just because I was tired. I just said like it's overheating on me. And I was going to let it go and try to upgrade to another 6500 to have 2 copies of it. But since that freaking update happened, I'm like, nope, holding on to it.
You're lucky.
So,
you know, I wish I held on to my 6300 to be honest with you. It would have been just great as a strictly purely gimbal camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dumb. Wish I kept it. Guys, I see a lot of questions for us. Hang on tight. We're going to answer them in about maybe 10 minutes. All right. We're going to do an open Q&A after this. So hang on to those questions tight. SnapClick says the A7R2 firmware update is huge. Did you see we now have a joystick for the focus point?
The heck?
What?
A joystick for the focus point?
Like a physical? What? Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, SnapClick?
Yeah, someone help us out.
Are you trolling us? Don't troll me, man. Let's see here. Evan Pollinger asked, in a new firmware, how does the flexible spot AF change? Anything you notice about that, Danny?
No, I haven't. I've been messing with the A9 way more than the other cameras, unfortunately. So
I haven't gotten a chance to actually really put it to the test for the flexible spot autofocus. I was just so happy that they included the auto temp thing for the A7R2. So that was a huge thing for me. Dave Sincere, do you still lose other functionality with the new install? I don't think so. I don't think we lost anything.
Someone mentioned that the focus mode changes on the A7R2 or something changes, like the wording or how you moves something. So it might have to do with the focus points. I'm not 100% concerned.
I'm gonna need to look. I wish I can look at it right now, but my A7R2 is filming me. I don't trust my 6500 to film me.
Really? I'm using a 6500 right now. So
okay. Well, if you say it's working the next time, I'll use my 6500.
What do you mean, like working? As in?
Oh, I mean, it's just like it doesn't get hot, doesn't overheat.
Oh yeah, as long as you got that auto power temp, I think I'll make it. So
it is summertime, my AC is running right now too. Oh. Let's see here. Tag the Shooter asks, Danny, did you notice the A9 doesn't let you use the touchscreen while using the eyepiece? Forces you to use the joystick touchscreen? Mm-hmm. Wish the firmware fixed that.
I noticed that. I was trying that, and I was like, WTF. But hey, you know what? Sony Alpha said they're working on the touchscreen interface. They said they were going to try and improve the touchscreen on another firmware update. So keep harping on them. They might do something about it. So
Simon PR asked, any updates for the 6500? There is an update for the 6500. Supposedly it fixes it's supposed to improve the image stabilization thing, but when I was going over the firmware notes, I didn't see it as something big enough for me to update my 6500. And my rule is, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I didn't upgrade my 6500. So maybe Danny, you can upgrade your 6500 and take my 6500 for testing.
We shall see.
Rob Kramer says it's called Focus Select. Hit center button and the D-pad acts like a joystick. Ooh.
I think I've been doing that already, no? Or either the Alpha 6500 had that, but I could have sworn I've been doing that.
You want to check it out? Because I can't. SnapClick says you can move the focus point now with the control wheel. I feel like we could do that before. No.
I know for sure the 6500 I do that. No, I'm doing it right now with my 6500. I push the center button and I can move the focus point. Like this is not updated, by the way. So here it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably not. But I just press the center button and then I can move the focus point around. I don't know.
Let me know if that's what you guys are referring to. Let me know. Nathan's in the house. What's up, guys? What's
Nathan.
up? Let's see.
Oh, control wheel? The wheel itself?
So you've actually like scroll. I feel like you could.
Yeah. No. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. Sorry, I'm not gonna try to figure something out. I'm not even sure. So.
I think if you select it and you move the control wheel, we'll try it out later. Whoa. Yeah. My whole Chrome just refreshed. Are we still alive?
Yeah.
Are we still live? So. Let us know. My whole thing just did a refresh.
Okay, that's scary. Stallone. Okay. Stallone's asking about, are they going to add the S9 back, the S-Log back into A9? What are they waiting for? It's a no-brainer. I just think it's something that they're probably just waiting on a little bit to test out. So I don't know. Who knows what the Sony engineers are thinking? So
awesome. All right. Shall we move on to the next topic, Danny?
I can just talk about it really brief, but you can ask them to start getting questions ready.
All right, guys. Oh, SnapClick says it's a thing. I'll post a link. Yes, SnapClick, please post the link. We'll look into it and we'll talk about it in the next show. Guys, we're going to start queuing up some of the open Q&A stuff. So any questions that you have for us, please start posting them on the chat. Use the hashtag QA so we can find it very easily. So hashtag QA for any questions that you want us to answer, and we'll do so in about 5 minutes. Danny, go ahead.
All right, so let me talk about my A9s. I think someone asked the questions, what am I going to do with my A9s? Actually, the Sony one has to go back tomorrow. I have to send it back to them already. And then my other A9 unit, I've already requested an RMA, or the return replacement with B&H Photo. So I'm going to get a replacement unit from them and see how well it goes. And if everything's all good still, then I'll hold on to the A9. Other than that, that's the situation with my A9 units right now. I went and shot a soccer game yesterday using the Sigma 120-300 again. So I've shot like 2 different days with the adapter, and same problem, same issue. You don't get continuous autofocus with the Sigma MC11 adapter. You can, once you press that first shutter button down, that's what's in focus. Everything after that will go out of focus because the focus plane stays at that spot. Autofocus performance with the A9 still remarkable, still very good. Really enjoyed it. When I was shooting soccer, if you're familiar with like headers, when the players hit the ball with their head in soccer, before it would be really hard to pinpoint those shots, but because you had the 20 frames, like you're able to like stop that specific moment. Like you see the ball actually landing on the top of their head. And I would always have a hard time getting those types of shots, but that autofocus, just nailing it, it's working really quick. Similar pacing and speed to a DSLR. So, and then one last thing, well, I guess I can talk about it later, but the battery grip's really sensitive. For whatever reason, when I'm holding onto the camera with the battery grip, my hand's kind of like brushing up against the button. So one time I was like trying to access the playback button when I was out on the field, and I was just having a hard time pressing the playback button. And I didn't realize that my hand was brushing up against the shutter button on the vertical grip. So just a little quirk that I noticed, but just wanted to share it anyway. But yeah. That's it on my end for the A9, and hopefully we got some questions pouring in. Jason Baum.
Danny, just a quick question for me. Are you still picking up the A9? Have you mentioned that already?
I'm going to get a replacement. So the Sony one's going back. They're going to take it back. I'm not going to ask for another copy.
Okay.
And then I ordered my original A9 from B&H Photo. I asked for a replacement. So I'm going to send.
And they're open to it. They're going to send.
Yeah, they took the RMA, so they're going to do the replacement, and then.
And I'm sure they heard all about you, right?
We'll find out. And there won't be. So I'll be out of an A9 for a little bit, so it'll be interesting. I think I'm gonna send them both back tomorrow. So
awesome. All right, guys, it's time for us to jump into the open Q&A. Again, if you have any questions, please use the hashtag Q&A, or sorry, hashtag QA. And we got 102 people watching right now. That is freaking awesome.
Did the basketball game end or something?
Did the basketball game in? This is still going. Give us some thumbs up if we're doing a great job tonight. We'd greatly appreciate it. Drop us some likes. Let's help push this live stream up, and up.
They're on third quarter right now. Cavs 86, Warriors 93.
Cool.
At this point.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna jump into that question right now. Right meow. All right, Kevin Yen asks QA, do you think the 16 to 35 2.8 G Master will be worth the premium over the already well thought 16 to 35 Zeiss F4? That's a
I think it
question.
depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you're doing.
Depends on what you're doing. I think a lot of people value that 2.8 and they want that 2.8 Trinity, the 16 to 35, 24 to 70, 70 to 200. So yes, there are going to be people who value that 2.8, such as myself. Like I would definitely, if I didn't already have the 18 millimeter Batis 2.8, the 16 to 35 2.8 is definitely something I would heavily consider. But in terms of weight size between those two, me and Danny talked to one of the Sony reps there, and they're saying the 16 to 35 2.8 G Master isn't that much heavier than the F4. So that is good news indeed.
Honestly, I think for me as a Canon shooter, I still have my 1740. I've been fine with it. I never picked up the 16 to 35 f2.8. I personally never found a need for an f2.8. Maybe one occasion or so here or there, but I think I would be okay with the 1635 f4 based on how I regularly shoot, because I shoot wide and I just want everything in focus anyway for the 16 to 35 range anyway. So for me, I don't think I would need it, but I'll go and try and test it out when I get a chance to.
And here's what I'm thinking. I really think the new 16 to 35 2.8 is going to be a great run and gun lens for the 6300, because I don't want to say it's a 24 to 70 equivalent on it, because it's not. It's more like 24 to 50 equivalent. So that 24 to 50 2.8 on a 6500, it's going to be a pretty solid combo in my opinion. So you don't have to get the 24 to 70 with your 6500 if you currently own an A6500 without a full frame camera. So the A6500 plus 16 to 35 2.8 is a great run and gun combo for videos, is what I'm referring to.
Maybe with the 6500, right? Because I don't think it has OS. That 16 to 35 does not have optical stabilization.
I don't think so either. So yeah, with the 6500, because of that in-body image stabilization, it'll make it a great run and gun combo.
Oh, it's gonna be a pricey one, man.
Pricey one, definitely. But the G Master quality, woo, beautiful. Dave Sincere asked Danny, replacement unit, does that mean it will be a used camera?
They better give me a new unit. It needs to be a new unit.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think they will, because your product that you got didn't work out.
Yeah, I basically told him, Pro Support told me to replace the unit, get a replacement unit. So that's what I wrote in my notes when they asked.
Ruben asks, QA, what's your take on the clear image zoom? Thanks. I love it. Better to use it in 4K. I would push it to 2 times in 4K. For 1080p, I wouldn't push it past 1.4. And if you're shooting slow-mo, probably don't use clear image zoom, because you're really exaggerating the pixels. But Danny, what do you think?
No, you've already answered it really well. I'm not going to add anything else to it.
All right, we're good right there. Steve, QA, can Sony lenses be adapted to Canon cinema cameras? For example, G Master 24 to 70 on a C200 with an adapter.
I don't know. There's not an adapter yet that I'm aware of.
I don't know what sort of physical limitation, if there are any, but there are many possible combination adapters out there. It just depends on the adapter manufacturers to make something like that. What I am interested in seeing is a Sony E-mount to Micro Four Thirds, so Micro Four Thirds can take advantage of Sony lenses, but we'll see. We'll see when that will happen. Tag the Shooter QA, Jason, will you trade your almost new? Will trade you almost new 6300 and 24 to 240 lens for your 85 G Master? Nah, I don't need it. Chad Seifert, thinking of jumping over the A7R2 from Fuji X-T2. Should I be worried about the overheating on the A7R2? I don't shoot video. I don't think you need to that
new firmware update. I think you're gold, man. As long as you're not putting it in direct sunlight like I'm crazy enough with my situations, you're good, man.
Yeah, you're fine. If you're not going to shoot any videos, the A7R2 is going to be good.
Yeah, just make sure that firmware update is going to help tremendously. So
let's see.
Steve was trying to get that C200. Just get the FS5, man.
Just get it. Just get it.
You're still enwrapped in the Sony stuff already, unfortunately, Steve.
All right. Let's see here. QA Patadolfo asks, do you guys think they should make an official battery grip for the A6000 series? My answer is yes.
Yes, for future cameras, absolutely. I think they're going to go with that prosumer line thing. So that's my thought on it. Casper711024 says, have you tried the new Sony G300 megabyte card to see if that helps with your issues? I never got my hands on it, unfortunately. So, and I've been kind of busy the last few days, so I didn't get to do any more testing that I wanted to do. And unfortunately, my time's up with my equipment, so I got to send it back ASAP and get the replacement going. So hopefully in the future I can.
Stallone Media. Actually, Rodell says basketball is still on, but Stallone Media says, shouldn't Pro Support give you another camera? No, because he didn't buy it from Pro Support. He bought it from B&H, so he has to return it through B&H.
Yeah, it's the B&H unit that started the whole ball rolling with the overheating thing. So, you know, it just makes perfect sense to just send it back to B&H and not harp on it too much anymore. So, yeah, just trying to move on.
Sonic Palette asks, QA, are you guys looking to test cinema cameras, i.e. C200, Panasonic EVA 1, and of course, to keep it Sony friendly, the FS5?
You're more the video guy, in my opinion, because you're doing a lot more video stuff with weddings. Would you ever consider using a cinema camera?
No, because I tried shooting with my A7R2 with the Atomos Ninja Flame, and I was just so slow at it. You know, it's just like I wasn't. You know, I'd rather get the shot than use all the fancy equipment out there because it would just slow me down. So I already had a lot of trouble trying to shoot with the Atomos Ninja Flame with my Sony cameras at a wedding. I don't think I would do it again. So,
you know, the thing I would say, I used the C100 to shoot a wedding. I actually personally liked it because everything was packaged in it, ND filters, all that stuff. I felt very comfortable having that handy. The only thing is you're going to have to get, you know, slightly better gimbals to do gimbal work on the bigger body cameras. The fact that there's even more options now for smaller mirrorless cameras with gimbals give you so much more flexibility, especially if you're shooting events and weddings. But I think you were talking about cinema related work, then yeah, you probably have more time and plenty of time to set that up. But for run and gun stuff, man, I just wish the C200 would have put in-body stabilization, but you can adapt glass now that has stabilization. But
yeah, and don't get me wrong, guys, you can definitely shoot a wedding with a C200, C100, C300. You can definitely do that. It's just that I'm not as seasonal as your C200 people, C300 people. So for me, I don't know. I'm sure if I practice enough, I'd be able to use it. But
yeah,
I'm cool with the Sonys.
We could probably ask like Zed Pro one time to come on board because he's gonna get the C200 and he does a lot of cinema stuff with like music videos. So it'd be good to pick his brain.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it on your channel next week. Either Zed Pro Media or John Sassone or someone. Let's get a live person on. Not a dead person, but a live person. Terry J would love to hear your opinion on the Sony 70-200 f4. Great, super sharp. Love it.
I have it. I haven't used it in a while.
It's really sharp though, believe me. It's a sharp lens. Great alternative to the 2.8. Mako Sports asked a question: 70-200 G Master with a tele extender or 100-400 G Master? And Danny, I think you asked that question too.
So Mako Sports, I've been testing out the 70-200 with the 2X teleconverter. I do not have the 100-400, and I doubt Sony will let me borrow it. So I've been shooting some sports with it. Image quality is definitely softer than obviously. With the extender, the image is going to be a bit softer, but the autofocus is still working pretty good with the extender, so that's a good sign. But I need to test out the 100-400 side by side. That's what I want to see. And you know what's really weird? I was shooting with the 70-200 G Master with the crop mode on, So when you shoot with the A9 with the crop mode on, you get a 10 megapixel picture. It looks sharper than with the 2x teleconverter.
Oh,
I don't know if that makes any sense. What I'm saying is I used the 7200 G Master, went to the 1.5x crop mode. Now that's that, and then shot soccer with it. And I found those images sharper than a 2x teleconverter. Obviously the magnification is much less with the 2x teleconverter. The magnification is much more with the 2x teleconverter, so it's going to be more softness. But it was really strange. I got to test it out a little bit more, but I feel like maybe I don't even need a teleconverter, because I'm going to crop the photo anyway because they're so far away. So the 1.5x crop factor with a 10 megapixel file doesn't really bother me a whole lot for what I do personally. So I don't know, really weird.
You think it's because you're also the converter is also like another glass element, right? So you introduce another glass, okay?
Exactly.
And the thing is, it costs so much money. It's like $500 for a converter, isn't it?
And I have both. I have the 1.4x and the 2x, and I'm like,
crazy, man.
I'm like, should I just shoot? Can I just get rid of the 1.4x and just shoot with the 1.5x crop mode? Because like I said, A7R2, you get an 18 megapixel photo still with the A7R2.
It's still good.
And honestly, I, for the sports images, I don't expect anything to be printed big anyway on my end. They just go on the web. So 10 megapixels is okay with me personally. That's just me.
Rodell Photo QA June Crane recommended lens to use the gimbal effectively. Use light lenses. Full frame cameras, I would recommend a 16-35 f4 or the 18-2.8 Zeiss Batis. For the A6500, 10-18 f4. Those would be the lenses I recommend for gimbal work. David Joe asks, QA, do you ever consider using the FS5 for video production in the future? YouTube, why or why not? David, I think we answered that, and I think
I can extend the answer to that. That's okay.
Go for it.
All right, so I have two Alpha 6300s, and like I said, I was going to sell them off. In my studio setup right now, I'll have an A6300 set up on the table. So I'll have one set up there permanently. It'll be facing down onto the table, and that extended temperature option is really helping me because the camera would overheat just being on inside the space in here. And then I'll have a dedicated Alpha 6300 camera, just like, this camera's recording me right now. It'll just be an Alpha 6300 in the future. It just sits here. So I'll have two dedicated Alpha 6300 cameras. I'd rather spend my money on smaller cameras and just have them kind of placed in my studio setting for YouTube work. So that's the route I'm going to go instead of buying one FS5. There you go. The answer's it.
Same deal as Danny. I don't really think I need the FS5 or FS7. Rather have multiple of these small little cameras. But in the future, if I am baller enough, yeah, why not? I'll just pick one up for fun. But until then, I'm not baller. Dave Sincere, do you guys worry about the distortion with the 16-35?
No, as long as you understand how it works and where it's distorting, and I think I know if I'm going to shoot, I know it's going to be distorted on the very edges, like at the 16mm end, and that's usually with my 1740 ultra wide. That's where I shoot anyway, so at the widest angle for the most part. So.
QA, do you think I'm crazy because I have the A900, 400, and 16-35 on pre-order? Sheesh.
What the heck?
Tag the shooter. No, you're not crazy at all. That sounds like you have a huge gas problem, but
I think if I didn't pick up the A9, I'd have the 16-35 on pre-order, like on as soon as it was available. But different story here.
No, that's good. You're not crazy at all. Good stuff.
Yeah. No, if you need it, man.
Yeah,
I get it.
Video Photo Max asks, what do you recommend for low budget video? A6000 or G7? Go for the G7.
If you're willing to work around it, get the adapter. If you're going to adapt lenses, 4K video, A6000 I wouldn't say is necessarily the best option for video. So Jason's on point with that recommendation.
Yeah, so if you want video, that low budget video, and you're only considering those two, G7 and 6000, G7.
Yep.
QA, Nikki930 asks, would you guys say there's a clear difference between sensor sizes? I currently own an A6500 and was wondering if I should get 7.2 or 7R2. By the way, watching from Japan, love both of your channels. Well, konnichiwa.
Thank you.
Yes, of course, there's a huge sensor size difference between the 6500 and the full frame cameras.
That image quality is ridiculous from the 6500 A7R2.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in my opinion, if you're considering to move on from the 6500 to either the 7.2 or the 7R2, I'd actually recommend the A7R2 just because when you're migrating from the 6500 to the A7R2, the autofocus speed is still kind of there. If you move on to the A7 II, you're going to lose that focus speed.
Yep, exactly. But there is a definite quality difference, especially with the A7R2. Man.
Okay. Danny, I lost where I am. If you want to pick up where I left off.
SnapClick says the center button becomes a toggle so you can keep using the ring as arrows even after releasing the shutter. Just remember to assign focus standard to it. Okay, so I got to assign something to that before I get that ability. Let's see here. Dang, the comments are coming in.
Yeah, SnapClick, I'm definitely going to want to try that. Yeah, that sounds very interesting. So it's just I haven't had a photo gig in a while. I'm actually done with some wedding stuff until July 1st. So back to YouTube making this week.
There we go. Dave Sincere asks, have you seen your two favorite YouTubers have linked up? Jason Lanier and the Angry Camera Guy or Angry Photographer Guy, LOL. My personal opinion on it, I think, it's good. It's great. You're seeing AP out there on the open shooting with Jason Lanier. You can have your own opinions on it, but it is what it is. And yeah, I don't want to really comment too much about it.
Watch the video yourself.
Just watch it. I think it's interesting that they released a new video. I thought it was interesting. Just being, did my camera just die?
Your camera just died.
Okay. My Alpha 6500 didn't overheat, guys. It was just, hold on.
It overheated.
I like how this happens right when we're talking about this topic here. Great. Let me go and switch the battery out right now.
All right. Danny's gonna switch the battery out.
Oh shoot, it's kind of warm. Let me pull the screen back a little bit.
With no visuals and context out the door, it sounds weird,
It's just funny that we spoke of this. I spoke of this and the camera shut off right now. Yeah, I definitely watched the video. I thought it was interesting, and you guys can make up your own opinion on it. So, all right,
watch the video. Yeah, Victor W QA, are you guys going to make a A6000 video? Yeah, I really want to. I just need to pick up an A6000.
I've got my A6000 here. I haven't forgotten about it. So I know people are getting mad at me for not making a 6000 video in some time, but I will try to over the summer.
Tag the shooter. QA, Jason, is it worth for me to upgrade from the RX 104 to the 5? Yes, because the 5 uses face detection autofocus, whereas the 4 uses contrast detect, and that was a huge deal for me.
Yeah, the 4 just is so bad. It's troublesome sometimes.
QA, Dave Sincere, how often do you guys use reflectors out on shoots? Hardly, because I lost mine at a wedding gig. I just need to go back to the bride's house to pick it up, and it's been more than 6 months. Danny?
Not often. Not often.
Sonic Palette, Jason, do you plan on purchasing the A7S III next year? If so, what are you selling? If I'm picking up the S3, I don't know. Good question. Maybe I'll sell my A6500, because if I have multiple full frame bodies, I wouldn't need the 6500. The 6500 has always been a B cam for me. But if I do get onto the A7 III or A7S III, the A7R2 will become that B-roll camera. Will become the B camera, sorry.
Yeah. Carlos B asks, am I still doing a D500 review? Yes. He'll be out at some point. Yes.
Awesome. Danny, if you see a question, just read it out.
Dave Sincere says, shh, that much for teleconverters?
Yes.
Let's see. Photo Mike said, Christian, I wanted to go shoot my next wedding this week with the A9 and vlog it, but my bride wasn't feeling the vlog life. Ouch.
David Joe, what picture profile do you shoot your productions in, and what do you shoot your YouTube videos in? Thoughts on S-Log versus S-Log 3? I started shooting in S-Log again. I'm blown away by the dynamic range and the color information. I've just been shooting PP1 for almost everything. I would do S-Log 2 if I feel like I need to really just push a dynamic range or something. Like I was shooting on a very cloudy day or a sunny day, I would probably use S-Log 2. But for the most part, I just stick with PP1. Danny?
I just use the standard picture profile for 90% of whatever I do. I might add a light grade to the video. The thing is, like, for me personally right now, it's been about speed at which to get stuff uploaded. So I don't really worry about it too much. But I don't know. I might start looking into it a little bit more over the summer. Maybe not, but
You're going ham with the uploads, man.
I'm trying to. I was supposed to have an upload
You
today,
uploaded
but
something when you were staying in Hollywood. That's insane.
people thought I was in Japan.
Yeah, I thought you were in Japan too. It's because of that sliding door.
You know what's really funny? So I get there at the Airbnb place. Man, it was so crazy driving up. There was like a weird hill and all that stuff. And I get there. There's a fireplace.
Oh, wow.
There's a fireplace, and I was like, people were saying I was recording behind a fireplace, and I was like, if I could get this fireplace rolling, record the A9 right next to the fireplace, we can get this all going again. But man, it was.
I think not only the A9 would have caught on fire, but I think the whole place would have caught on fire.
The sliding doors with their paper and everything.
Michelle asks A7R2 or A9. Two different cameras for two different things. If you're shooting a lot of event, wedding stuff, sports stuff, go with the A9. If you're just doing strictly portraits and hobby stuff, A7R2.
I think weddings, right? I think weddings can still use an A7R2.
Oh, definitely.
A9 is on that higher end. If you need the dual card slots and stuff, then you really have no other choice right now with the Sony system.
Diego Diaz, I bought an A7 II 2 months ago. Should I sell it now or keep value and prepare for the A7 III? In my personal opinion, just because the A7 II is not as good as the A7R2 and A7S2, you should just sell it and prepare for the A7 III.
Yeah, if you really wanted my opinion, I would do the same thing. Either that or pick up a 6300 to like hold you out for a little
while. Yeah, that's true. Sell the A7 II, get the 6300, 6500 just to hold you down until the next camera. The A7 II is way outdated in my opinion. Tag the shooter, what software do you use for video editing? I use Final Cut, don't want to pay $50 to upgrade to Adobe CC. If Final Cut works for you, stick with it. Premiere works for me, so I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
Sebastian, how is video on A9 compared to the A7R2? When do you think Sony will add S-Log to A9? So, Danny, A9 video quality, what do you think?
Just in general, just looking at the video, it looks a little bit more crispy. And when I mean like the details a little bit better, but that's really subjective. But I just kind of noticed it to look a little bit better in the A7R2. But the A7R2's videos looks really damn good too. I wouldn't discount it at all. Even at Super 35, the A7R2 video is really good. S-Log is rumored to be going back. The S-Log is rumored to make its way into the A9 because it was never there to begin with, apparently. So it'll make its way into the A9. So that's still on rumorville territory, but hopefully they will drop that update.
Awesome. I think we tackled all the questions for tonight. Danny, you see anything? You have anything else to add for this live show?
I think that'll do it, man. We're past our time technically, but
yeah, we started a little late, but we hang on because this show is pretty damn awesome. I mean, we have over 100 people watching. That's crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Awesome. Danny, what can the folks expect from you this week or next?
Man, all my A9s are going away. They're all disappearing on me tomorrow. I was gonna do a tutorial. I was looking at because I use Photo Mechanic to kind of filter out my photos. I was looking for a cheap option, a free option to cull your images, because when you're shooting with the A9, you'll shoot thousands of images, and then how do you cull through them, basically select them. And I found another program, and I'll do a video on that and show you another workflow that I would use to kind of pick out images quickly. So that's coming up.
Awesome. And like I said, I am on break from weddings and stuff until July 1st. So going full force on the YouTube videos. I should have a video out by tomorrow and subsequent videos after that. And someone's asking if this video will be online afterwards. Yes, this live will be posted. And I will also trim off some stuff and add the time codes in. So yeah, this video will definitely be up online. And that's pretty much it, right, Danny?
Yeah, that'll do it, guys. Thank you again for joining our live stream. As usual,
Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already yet. And next week's live is going to be on Danny's channel, and hopefully we'll have a guest then. Keep subscribed to us. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff for more information on the next show. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Peace.